Hello everyone and welcome in to the Perennial. It is time for the finals. We are here with the top 4 teams in the tournament left standing, and only the top 4. It's very cool. And Bob, to start us off for the day, seed number 3 versus seed number 4 for the bragging rights of actually being top 3 versus actually being the 4th place team in the tournament. I'm Dio, I'm your host. I'm going to be your caster for this match as well. And yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup between these two teams. We saw both of these teams look extremely good in their matches originally yesterday. Very cool, taking down Picora Lovers 7-0 in a clean sweep, and Bob taking down Welcome to Trev City 7-1. Again, very, very strong showing from both of these teams, with only the first pick from Welcome to Trev City going their way on the Usomi map in Hidden. It was looking very, very good for both of these teams yesterday, and I would be surprised if we don't see a close matchup between these two. You look at some of the scores that are from both of these teams, and you just kind of wonder how they are going to match up against each other, as there are just some ridiculous scores from both of these rosters, particularly things like the 1.7 million team score on Hidden 2 from Bob that I think looks really, really good for them. 700k from Suwagi as an example, and 400k from both Keeg and Krez on that map. And meanwhile, for very cool things like full combos on this map pool from, or close to full combos on this map pool from some of their members. 600k on Nomad 1 from White Cat, 700k on Hard Rock 1 from both Emrek and White Cat. Very, very good scores for both of those members throughout their match yesterday, and I think are going to be, of course, a very big part of their game plan for today. That said, let's get into it! We're into the roles for both of these teams and should be able to That's not me in the voice chat. That's K in the voice chat. Hold on a second. We'll get that fixed real quick. There we are. Alright, there we are. Get everything fixed up here. Waiting for now on the roles for both of these teams, but just to talk a little bit more about what these teams are good at, what they have done throughout the tournament, and how we kind of expect this match to shake out. Very Cool is a team who has really thrived in a lot of the aim-based picks, who have thrived in a lot of the kind of aim control focused picks all throughout the tournament. And Bob, much to the opposite, have thrived in the speed picks. They have thrived in the tapping based picks and in those types of mechanics picks instead. But both of those teams have really done well in these reading picks. Mentioned, of course, the 700k for Suwagi on Hidden 2 last weekend. That's no anomaly. Suwagi, formerly known as Dragbit3, one of the best reading players in tournament right now. And so there's honestly a lot of overlap between the skills for both of these teams, but I think what we'll end up seeing is a kind of straightforward pick ban at first. Very Cool picking into the aim maps, Bob picking into the speed maps, and aside from those, getting the reading picks and kind of unconventional maps saved for last, as those are kind of the toss-up picks. We could also see a world where, for example, we pick the toss-up maps first in order to not have any of the toss-up maps be left up later on. But I think in a match as close as this one is, as contested as this one should be, You really do want to pick your safe picks first, and there is that double time 3 to come out for Bob. It's going to be the speed map first. Double time 3, the high BPM burst pick, and why is it ever high BPM burst? Road. It seems I've got somebody joining me for this match. Welcome in, Doomsday.
Hello, hello. Absolute trooper, Dio. I'm here to try and save your voice a little bit, though. Thank
you.
For having me in.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, you've got good timing. We're just about into the first pick here. It's some pretty straightforward bans for both of these teams. A Hard Rock 3 ban from Bob and a Nomad 5 ban from Very Cool. For anyone who missed those are up right there. Bob banning out the Hard Rocks against a team like Very Cool, who is very, very strong on a lot of those more gimmicky Hard Rocks, is, I think, to be expected. And of course, for Very Cool, not wanting to deal with the speed maps from Bob, as they are one of the better speed teams in the tournament.
Still plenty to work with in the speed side of things, though, but that's definitely a strong one. I wonder if that DT2 is going to get targeted later on if it doesn't get picked early. I mean, I guess here it is, though. A good old Rockstar's old-style DT. This very speedy. That rework SR is pretty dumb. It's like 8.3 in the rework.
Yeah, this is just absolutely bonkers star rating, and, well, I mean, for kind of good reason. You can see here all of the bursts and everything going through this map, consecutive triples all over the place and longer bursts in between them. And even players like Bowman and Ninerick kind of having trouble with it. Keeg as well missing. Nanoya and Emrek following up with some misses of their own. It is only Raikaho for Bob with the combo right now. Sawada and Angel Kana to hold on to the combos for Very Cool.
Map's long enough. The players that are struggling now could find some warms later on. But yeah, Raikaho is going to be worth so much. As well as Sawada, those two.
And there goes Raikaho, drops the full combo for Bob. So this is now looking very good for Very Cool. Keeg, the only combo to stay alive on Bob's side, and it's just Emrek to match that combo for Very Cool. Now he drops, and it's Sawada alone with any combo for them, but Keeg finds the drop as well for Bob, and this is looking like first pick gone awry now as Sawada just continues to hold this full combo for Very Cool and extend the score lead farther and farther out, almost 300,000 at this point.
Got to feel a little bit for Nineric, though. He's holding 98.6 himself, but a couple unfortunate misses. He's just not going to be able to keep up with Sawada here. It's kind of bonkers, though, from Nineric and Sawada.
Yeah, I don't know how you expect players to do stuff like this in match. Sawada is still going with this full combo. Not to downplay the accuracy from Nineric, but I mean, this is kind of ridiculous from Sawada. Still holding the FC. Is he? No, he's not going to finish it out. He finds the slider break right at the end of the map. But he's going to get it up over 1 million points by the end of the map, and that is one hell of a score to start things out for Very Cool. A breakpoint on Bob's first pick with almost an FC for Sawada on that map.
The slider break, typical slider break, but incredible stuff. Over 1 million, you can't really argue with that. And some great accuracies as well from some of the other players, particularly Nineric. 98% is very good. Anyone in chat gonna give us the PP for Sawada's score? I wonder. Must be a solid close to 600, if not 700. Ridiculous.
I would definitely be surprised if it wasn't over 600 at the very least. I mean, this is a hard map. This gets gigabuffed. We talked about that, right? I mean, this is an 8-star map on the new star rating, so it should be worth quite a bit. That is definitely a very good play for them. But that is an unfortunate start to this match for Bob, as Very Cool now off to a really solid start. First pick breakpoint for Very Cool is really not what you want to see if you are Bob, and well, now Very Cool just going into something tried and true for them. It's No Mod 1, and I know we've kind of had this conversation before, Dooms, right, about how No Mod 1 has, as of recent, kind of turned into this like quote-unquote RNG pick, where teams kind of pick it when they have nothing left open. Well, it seems like Very Cool is one of those teams where that gets turned on its head a little bit, because their aim in general is just so good that it doesn't matter that No Mod 1 has become this kind of quote-unquote RNG pick. They're just good enough at aim that they can pick No Mod 1 and just be confident they'll win anyway, which is kind of refreshing to see this as a power pick for teams rather than, man, I don't know what to pick, let's just pick No Mod 1. As it usually is.
Yeah, it's got its own like identity now, for sure. Very specific. You go for No Mod 1 in a very specific circumstance now, and yeah, you mentioned the team. Do we even need to say anything about this lineup for Very Cool? We don't, do we? That is just a stupid lineup for Raw A. Goodness me. But hey, Bob's got a few players as well. We see Zootinator slip in. Krez coming in as well. He's got a very good No Mod 1 on him. But it's going to be a tough ask, this. I don't know how you can split it. Who's the fourth going to be? Very Cool, though. They have choice.
I think their fourth is just going to be Zootinator. She's actually cosplaying as the enemy right now over on the wrong side of the screen. But
my mistake.
waiting for her to swap over into slot 1 there for Very Cool. There we go. And it is going to be Suwagi to come in for Bob. I think that's a very good player for them. Somebody who has had pretty decent success on aim picks in tournament before, and should be able to fill in very well for this No Mod 1 for them. Suwagi, formerly known as Dragbit3, for those who are unaware in chat. Recent name change to that player, so you may be familiar with them from tournaments like Nick's Winter Cup earlier this year, where he was top 3 in that tournament overall. Had a very, very good run in that tournament. So let's get into this No Mod 1. Very Cool actually played this yesterday against Picora Lovers. It was one of the picks that they used to win that match yesterday. They had some very, very solid scores on it, namely from White Cat, a 600k, 2-miss, 0-100. That is still impressive even on OD8 with this map.
I think the mechanics will come into it, with it being the No Mod 1, the miscount, the combo. The ACK isn't too bad on this if you can manage the mechanics. Very consistent, this. It doesn't really have any sort of breakpoint in it. Very consistent with its wide spacing all the way through.
It's kind of the draw of some of these types of maps, right? Mapped by Yusomi. You may kind of associate them with graveyard mapping, but they are very consistent, and you see multiple breaks from multiple players already. White Cat and Zudi falling, Krez and Raikaho falling for either team, 2 players dropping for both squads. Suwagi going to find a miss on the space triple there going into the first KI time, and now is Emrek and Bubbleman to stand against Satono Diamond for Bob Ninoya, formerly known as, still holding the only full combo for his team.
Oh, not anymore. Not anymore. The last one down for Bob. 2 FCs on Very Cool. 2 SSs even.
Well, now you've done it. Now you've gone and said it.
I'm trying to curse like Emrek and Bubble Man. I think they'll be fine.
Oh, nope. Never mind. One miss for
okay.
Bubble Man to come through.
Oh no.
It's just Emrek now standing. The only SS, the only FC. And so, now that he's gotten through 2 of them, I think he's actually going to be just fine going into this verse section here. Yeah, just still going, actually, for Emrek. Looks very, very comfortable on this map, and really not having any of the troubles that we saw yesterday from him. Everybody having a reset during that section except for Emrek and Raikaho, one of the other players on the side of Bob, who has been a carry performer for them throughout this tournament.
That section in particular, one of the hardest in the map, but the big combos hold through it still.
This combo for Raikaho is absolutely massive, but if we don't see a drop from Emrek, it's just not going to matter for Bob. They need this combo from Emrek to drop ASAP, otherwise this big play for Raikaho is going to be all for naught, and it's just going to be a 2-0 lead for them.
We're still within punching distance, but time's running out now. Seems relatively close, but the Emrek difference is still going. Never mind! Oh god! They're fine though, surely.
Yeah, I don't think they're within punching distance anymore, unfortunately, for Bob. And there goes Raikaho's combo. If they weren't already out of range, they are now. And despite, I mean, Raikaho outscoring the best scorer that we saw on Nomad 1 yesterday from Whitecat, 680k for Raikaho by the end of this. A very, very good score for him. And in fact, I let me just check real quick. I don't want to be wrong about it, but yeah, that is almost better team score for Bob than what Very Cool had yesterday, but just a massive improvement for Very Cool. 850k for Emrek on this score, really making the difference for them and putting them up well over that 2 million score mark.
Yeah, it's all on that massive combo. We held through it. Miscount's pretty good across the board, as you'd expect, but yeah. Emrek showing up today to bank this one. Could have been very different if they repeated what they had yesterday, for sure. But they do save it.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah, here we go.
You don't expect to see this map this early, honestly. I expected this one to take a while to get through, but Get Low picked up by Bob. The DT team here picking up Double Time 4. It's the high approach rate reading map. And that's really what this map is about, right? It's like high approach rate reading and slider aim and ult to some extent. It's kind of an odd pick. But it's a pick where you really want to be very, very strong on your DT reading if you want to pick into something like this, which kind of works with what the DT4 slot usually is, right? That kind of gimmick double time.
Yeah, it's pretty gimmicky, this. Lots of snappy aim all the way through, lots of awkward little shapes here and there. Quite a few back and forths, especially, near the end, around the middle section. There's even a couple, like, 1-4 bursts at just over 300 BPM, but they're very short. It's more about finger control than speed. Quite long as well. For a map like this, it's quite lengthy. So you gotta be pretty consistent too. Definitely a really high skill cap map, I'd say, in this pool.
Yeah, I mean, 4 minutes or so of a map like this is super draining. So being able to pull off good scores on this, like you said, you have to be very, very consistent at this type of thing to be good at it, and you need to to have that type of consistency on something like this requires almost a skill cap that does go well above what you see in this pool, right? Unless this is kind of your specialty, you're going to have to be just a better player than what this map demands most of the time to be consistent enough at it where you can combo it for 4 minutes. So looking to players like Raikaho, like Keeg, like Neneric on the side of Bob, who really have shown in solo play in particular that they are extremely good at this type of DT reading stuff. Looking at Suwagi for the tournament player side as somebody who has just been absolutely phenomenal through the year. And these are players who have been really solid for Bob all throughout. Keeg and Raikaho in particular in this tournament have looked really, really good for them. So I want to see them pop off on this map and put up the kind of scores that we need to see from Bob to put them on the board on this map, because this is still a pick that Very Cool can absolutely contest. They played this against Pecora Lovers yesterday, and they had a pretty good time of it. They won it and were able to, I believe, close the match out on this map. Almost 2 million team score for them. Well, not a bad start for Bob. Emrek, the only combo left alive for Very Cool, and Neneric now the only combo left alive for Bob, as we do see the reset from Raikaho and reset from Neneric as well now, and Emrek the only combo left in the lobby. Not what Bob wants to see. We do see some recovered combos coming up from Suwagi and Keeg, but not enough to contest the extra combo on Emrek, and you see that score start to go over to Very Cool's side. It might need to be that team consistency for Bob to bring them back in this. We do see the drop from Suwagi, Keeg, Sawada, and Fiery Rage all matching. Raikaho going to drop right after, and that is a full team wipe now for Bob. That is a full wipe across the board for everybody except for Emrek, who has just decided that he wants to win today. He has just decided that he wants to win. I don't know what else to say. He has, is that 100 dooms probably? Oh, there we go. He finally drops.
100 now. Well, it's like once the map hit the harder part, Emrek was the one that held consistency. Everyone else struggled. Map really does pick up from here now, though. You can see it. And it doesn't get any easier until the end. So, well, got 200k to make up, Bob.
That is a tough ask, 200k on a map like this. You see so many combo breaks for so many players on this type of map, just all over the place because of how tricky this type of stuff tends to be. And with the score lead they already have for Very Cool's side, I just don't see this going over. As I mean, that extra combo for Emrek was just absolutely massive. They are within touching distance, and if they can get some big combos together, it's absolutely possible, but those resets for Keeg and Raikaho don't bode well for them here. Neneric now the only one with substantial combo, and not enough to bring back what is almost now a 400,000 score lead.
Yeah, clearly a team-wide just, win on here for Very Cool. Each 4 of their players look better than the other 4 on Bob, with the exception of Neneric, who is having a really good run on it, but it's really not working out for them at all. Just one of those, really. One of those where it just... You give it a go, but it doesn't work out the way it did first time. Very Cool going to be taking this one again. Nice little ending there from Emrek with that combo as well. Almost 600 through the ending. It's a nasty one, man. It's a nasty one. But again, Emrek showing up, banking that point relatively comfortably by the end. You know what, though? The miscounts across the board show me that Bob, they definitely did have some confidence in that. It's unfortunately Suwagi did have a bit of an issue with that. Quite a few misses there. But it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm taking a look over to the side of the broadcast right now, and I see some information that maybe Suwagi's keycaps fell out of the keyboard during that map, and so perhaps, yeah, I said that in game chat as well. So perhaps if he had some working keycaps, that map would have gone a little bit better. But still, regardless, a very, very good map for very cool. I mean, 600k difference by the end of it. Although I think that's because somebody left a little bit early for the side of Bob. It looks like Reikaho actually leaving a little early on that one. And so probably around 200, 300,000 score difference for them. Just not having the best of times with it. So 3-0 up for very cool. And like you said, Dooms, the miscount, honestly, for Bob was pretty good in that one. So I think they can still be confident picking into stuff like the DT1, the DT2, whichever of those is left up. Maybe the No Mod 2 as well once we get there. But just unfortunately, these first two picks not working out the way they would have wanted them to. And now, very cool with the chance to solidify a 4-0 lead on this No Mod 3. They used this yesterday against Pecora Lovers as well to pretty good results, I have to say. Pretty good results on this map. 976,000 score difference yesterday. Every single member for them better than any score on the side of Pecora Lovers, and that is not a dig at Pecora Lovers. That goes to show just how good this team is at these types of alt maps.
Yeah, they have a ridiculous control roster. This is another one that does bring out a lot in the highest skill cap of some of the players, maybe on very cool. It's a very consistently difficult sort of ult-heavy map, this. But as you'd expect, it's got a lot of the flow aim and sharp aim ult. And some really violent spacing changes. Really violent spacing changes in this. But yeah, it's a long map and it doesn't really let up at all, so it can get quite exhausting to keep up with.
And that really does tend to favor some of these teams who are really, really consistent at this type of stuff, who have, like you said, that higher skill cap to take advantage of it. Yesterday, we saw a White Cat, Taquito, Emrek, and Fire Rage go in on this and just absolutely demolish it. Obviously, Taquito not here right now because of church. Classic Taquito church incident on Sunday morning. But otherwise, I mean, these are still very, very solid players for it. Zudinator to sub in is a sub I will take on an alt map any day of the week. So I don't think they're going to be hurting too much for the overall roster on Very Cool's side. Everybody on both of these teams looking pretty comfortable with it out of the start, though. Raikaho with the only miss so far, but on pretty good accuracy as well. So not going to impact too much of the map.
Those stops and starts cause that fiery there. It's 2 FCs to 2. It's with Bob right now. Suwagi now on fully functioning keycaps, I hope. Working out a lot better for him. Never mind, he just found a break. It's just great for Team Bob.
And White Cat and Emrek still holding strong for Very Cool right now. These two players who... you put both of them on the same team in late stage, it almost seems unfair how good they are and how well they scale into these later stages. Continually, one of them every single map putting up the best score for the team and just absolutely demolishing this one as well. The only two players now to hold on to full combos with that extra break from Krez. And I think Very Cool going to be finding a repeat of their performance on this from yesterday, just putting up massive score differences on these types of maps, as this is kind of their specialty, right? This is the type of map that they are extremely good at for this team.
Never really lets up this. It's more of the same the whole way through. The ending does get a bit harder. I'm not quite there yet, though. And Bob are giving it a go, but those huge combos just keep going. It's only White Cat left, but he's on far higher combo than anyone else on the board.
I mean, you look across the board, and everybody else is below 400k. I mean, the highest score on anyone else right now is Tsuwagi's 380k, and White Cat and Emrek just have 630 and 540k respectively. It's just a little ridiculous to look at. We do finally see drops from White Cat here near the end of the map, but I mean, they are the difference makers for this team right now, putting up this massive score lead. As Fire Rage and Zudinator, you know, comparable scores to the rest of Bob, but White Cat and Emrek just absolutely crushing this, and I think that says more about how good Bob actually is at this map than anything else. Players like Tsuwagi and Krez putting up over 400k on this are really, really solid scores for them, and you know, in a different match with Raikaho and Satono Diamond to bring up the rear, they may have been able to take the point, but that is just 2 S ranks. S ranks for them, man. It's up with this.
That's actually insane. Insane. Ridiculous stuff from White Cat and Emrek there. It's just one of those things where it's such a hard opponent on a map like this to face. But you mentioned, you know, that 400k on this is very solid, but very cool to have some spectacular players for this sort of thing. Well, here comes the next ban phase, Dio. So what happens here? Bob really needs to be careful with this because at the moment they are under the cosh.
They definitely are. I mean, it's a little hard to say to Bob that their pick ban strategy has been wrong at this point. I think obviously they're going to ban out another aim map. It just kind of depends which one they feel least confident in. If I were them, I would probably look towards either Hard Rock 1 or Hard Rock 2. Both of those were played yesterday by Very Cool, and they absolutely demolished both of them as well. Very similar to Nomad 1 and Nomad 3. So I think we're definitely seeing that banned out. And from Very Cool's side, I mean, we saw them ban out that Nomad 5, and we saw Bob pick both DT3 and DT4 first. And despite the fact that, yeah, those picks didn't go as planned for Bob, you know, I think they are still going to look towards banning out some of those speedier maps, because clearly they are still scared of Bob on those types of picks, and Bob knows that, picking into 2 DT maps right out of the gate. All right, well, never mind. I'm just completely wrong about all of it. It's Nomad 6 and Hidden 2 to be banned out by these teams. Didn't really expect those bans, but to give benefit of the doubt here, Bob played Hidden 2 yesterday and had a very, very good score on it. We talked earlier in the broadcast about Tsuwagi's 700k on that map, which is absolutely ridiculous. So I can see why they would have banned that out after winning some of the speedier picks, right? Maybe not as afraid now of the DT2 or the Nomad 2 or the DT1. And for Bob's side, I mean, that Nomad 6 is very, very aim control focused, so I can see them wanting to ban that out as opposed to one of those Hard Rocks as well. I think these are still bans that make sense. Might have been a bit wrong about exactly where the bans are placed, but they are bans that make a lot of sense for both these teams.
Do they stick with it now, though? DT2? Staring them at the face there? Or do they go into something else? You can't exactly go for the free model OAR because the Hard Rocks will come out. They're going to go for the streams. Breaking out the stream map in no mod there. So yeah, similar sort of strategy here, going with the tapping.
Yeah, this is an interesting pick for a couple of reasons. I don't believe we saw this yesterday for Bob. No, we actually did see this yesterday for Bob. They were able to get 1.7 million team score on this. But we also saw this yesterday for Very Cool, and they put up 2.4 million. So I have to say I am a little concerned about this pick for Bob, just because of the fact that, again, the MREC White Cat difference on this map is kind of palpable. Angel Kana and Sawada got respectable scores on this, right around 400k for both of them. White Cat got 750k and MREC got 820k on this yesterday, which is absolutely ridiculous, considering the next highest score on the map at all this weekend was 600k from Leva Russian. So yeah, very, very good scores from them. It's not to say that there's not pop-off potential. We saw a 4 miss from Neneric and a 1 miss from Keeg on this yesterday for Bob. And so if we do see those two pop off and pull off some really big combos for this team, this is absolutely a winnable map for them.
I'd go as far as saying this map might be a bit of a coin flip with these rosters. I can absolutely see why they're going for this, even though it is a risky pick. I'd agree. But yeah, I can definitely see Bob having a field day with this if the stars align and the players can, not slip on some of these wide space streams. It's one of those maps. You either, you get a tiny miscount or you get 20 misses. It's one of those maps. Both teams have great players for this sort of thing. What does that say? Was that Tono Diamond there?
Yeah, so Tono Diamond, I think, the only player who may be a little out of place here. He was saying in chat earlier that he's not usually on the roster for this one. I think missing maybe the crease for Bob, as he was there fourth yesterday. But he's off to not that bad of a start, so hopefully we'll be able to continue that through the rest of this map. Everybody's still holding the full combos, as you do in the intro of this map. This is absolutely not the hard part at all.
Yeah, give it a sec when the streams come in. Just about 30 seconds time, that's when we'll see people start to drop. 212 BPM streams this. It's on the higher side. It's still relatively spaced as well because of that SR.
Bubble Man a little bit unhappy with the break there, I suppose. Same for Raikaho, who did find a miss on the jumps as well during that section. An even trade of misses favors neither team as we get now some of the build-up again for this first big streamy section here.
Almost coming up now to the real meat and potatoes of this with 3 FCs on both sides. Here we go though. So far, this is really good.
Nobody's giving it an inch right now at all. Finally, a couple misses. Tono Diamond drops on the jumps, and Raikaho and Bubble will match. White Cat misses on the slider right after the jumps and the spinner. Oh no, the reset for him after the spinner not going the way he planned. MREC and Angel Kana up against Neneric and Keeg, but Angel Kana drops on the stream right afterwards, and now Neneric and Keeg actually still holding these full combos. These are the players who had those single-digit miscounts yesterday for Bob, once again holding the combos where it matters for them. MREC the only one to do so for Very Cool right now.
One player can be worth so much on this though. A note lock can tank all of your AK as well, so that's a massive score loss. You really got to be careful with these big combos for everyone, even the high AK low combo plays. Neneric with the break, massive note lock.
Crucially, Keeg able to hold on this section that just takes off like a jet rocket, man. These streams at this section, absolutely brutal and unforgiving when misses happen. There goes MREC's combo, and there goes Keeg, the only full combo left alive. This was what needed to happen for Bob. We shouted it out at the start of this map, is if either Keeg or Neneric can hold on to these combos, and pop off where they're needed. This can be the point that Bob needs to put themselves on the board.
Oh, this is such a massive play by Keeg, though. The map only gets easier from here. It actually slightly gets less intense on the raw streams. Not easy by any means, but the harder parts are over. Last few patterns. Can he hold it? Wow, Keeg! What a play that is! Incredible stuff that is.
That is probably the only full combo we are going to see this weekend on any map. That is an absolutely incredible play for Keeg. 98% on the full combo. Not quite best accuracy in the lobby, I might point out. White Cat on 99.5% ac with just the one slider break right after that spinner. That is an absolutely tragic slider break for White Cat. But exactly what Bob needed to stay in this match and put themselves on the board. I am a little bit in awe at both of those plays, actually. At the fact that the only place that White Cat broke was on literal air right after a spinner, and the fact that Keeg was actually able to full combo that map. Those are both absolutely ridiculous scores on that map.
It really is. Like, when you think as well, yeah, White Cat broke basically on just a tiny slip of a slider. Yeah, ridiculous stuff. Stream players, man. Stream players.
Just insane. Wow. All right. Yeah, that is an absolutely ridiculous score for Bob, and exactly what they needed to put themselves on the board, right? This is what we wanted to see from them to really get going in this match. And now, despite being down 4-1, they have some momentum, and they can try and carry that into this next pick. It's Hidden 3 to come out from Very Cool. This is a map that Very Cool did not play, but that Bob did yesterday. Bob played this up against Welcome to Trev City, and they actually lost this to Welcome to Trev City. Vesprit able to pull out the full combo on this map, and 600k from the Pro and Ryuke on this as well gave them a very, very solid team score. So going to be looking again to Keeg to kind of pop off on this. 2 miss for Keeg on this yesterday, as well as Krez with the 5 miss, 97% accuracy. So those are kind of your players to stand out and pop off on this map for Bob. Looking for them to take a break point and continue the swing of momentum that they've started with that first point.
It's quite a technical map, this, on the Hidden. We've already seen it, but there are lots of tricky rhythms, time signature changes about halfway through as well. Lots of bursts with accelerating, decelerating streams, things like that. All that weirdness on the Hidden. It's where the hidden mains shine and where the non-hidden players can find inconsistency quite easily.
Yeah, I think OMG4's put it in the showcase that, you know, if you're thinking about picking this, it's probably not your kind of pick, because if you have to think about whether you want to pick this sort of map or not, you're probably not the sort of player who actually wants to pick this. This is a map where, you know, if you are a hidden main, if you are somebody who excels in these types of maps, you automatically know you want to pick this sort of thing. And if you're sort of thinking about it, you're probably going to be way too inconsistent at it to really put up a good score. So there are certainly going to be a couple players in this lobby, I think, who have a little bit of that trouble and who have a bit of a tough time putting up those really solid scores. But this is absolutely a map where you can see some of the reading players and hidden mains shine, especially those who are really, really strong on the flow aim. I'm actually looking at Zudinator for this map for Very Cool, given how good she is on the hidden and how strong her flow aim is with these sorts of things. Especially given the BPM on this one doesn't really go too high. You've got some 1.6 bursts, which are, you know, 210 BPM equivalent. But other than that, this is a relatively low BPM sort of map.
It's another one where Saturno Diamond has to fill because Lucrece played this yesterday. So a slightly different roster as well here for Bob. Oh, immediately a few early breaks, some very cool on those linear patterns.
Immediately some breaks for everybody on these sorts of patterns as the entire roster for Very Cool has dropped. And it is, again, Keeg, this player popping off in the later stages for Bob. One of the best players in the world in solo right now. I believe top 10 for Keeg at the moment in solo. And has been absolutely shining in this tournament. Somebody who I think a lot of people may have underestimated due to just being, you know, a quote-unquote PP player, but is absolutely destroying it. Unfortunately, going to find the miss, and now there's some big combos on Very Cool that have been built back up. That early team wipe not doing nearly enough now halfway into the map as we see big recovered combos for every single member of the team.
Getting into the snapping change now, and it's all with Very Cool now, with all their players recovering. Suwagi doing very nicely, but yeah, getting into the deconstruction star patterns here. Two big combos for them even. You can see why they picked it. Looking very good on it in general.
Yeah, that is a really, really solid overall team score. I mean, average 600k for your 4 members is really, really solid. Nobody below 500k on this roster. Only Keeg really with a competitive score for Bob on that one. Suwagi, Krez, and Saturno Diamond doing their best on it, but just falling a little bit short. And you can really see exactly why they put in Zudinator for this one. 770k for her on this map, well outshining both Emmerich and Whitecat on this, which is not something we have seen very often in this match for one of the other players on the team to take over and to really strut their stuff on one of these maps. So very, very good score for her on that map.
What's next for Bob? Dipping into the free mod pool now, and they are going to be going into the small CS low AR map now, which does naturally bring out a lot of hard rocks. Although hard rock on this is a little bit different because it's not CS5, it's a bit smaller than that.
Yeah, when you put hard rock on this, it doesn't just go to CS 6.5, it goes to CS 7.15. So very, very small circles with hard rock, although this is still a nerfed version of the original. This was, I believe, in Corsi's Open 2021, I want to say. And was very hard. I believe it was CS6 AR7 at that point. And that was quite difficult. This is being a nerfed version is going to be a little bit more manageable for most of these players, and I think is going to be really interesting to see what kind of mod combinations we get on this. This is a tournament where you can have, to go over the free mod rules for those of us joining us for the first time, in this tournament, you need all 4 players to mod for free mods. So this is more akin to force mod than to free mod. And with the free mod rules, you need at least 1 player to take either hard rock or hidden hard rock. And you need 1 player to take either hidden or easy. So for example, 1 easy and 3 hard rocks is actually a valid mod combination in this tournament. I hope we see an easy, particularly from Suwagi, somebody who has been very, very good on easy in tournament this year already. So I'm really hoping to see him take the easy on this one.
It is quite easyable. We have seen a few easies on it already, for the right player, of course. The way the streams on this map wind about, and the way the rhythms are, lots of even note bursts in this, it's very burst heavy. It's not particularly easy on the extremely low AR, but the right sort of player can be right at home with it. As well, quick note, you mentioned this was in Course Ace before. I remember Fiery Rage played the original version, and he hard carried 4v1 with the no mod, but he's stuck with the hard rock this time.
And talk about team preferences right here. You have an easy and 2 hiddens for Bob, only 1 hard rock on Raikaho, and you've got only 1 hidden for Very Cool. Everybody else on some kind of hard rock or hidden hard rock here. So talk about a difference in team preferences versus hidden and hard rock, and it's very clear who prefers what on this sort of map. But easy for Suwagi, and we're gonna have to do some mental math for this one before we get to the end of it, as that easy does have a custom multiplier. Whatever you see on screen right there, you can multiply by 1.6. So the 35k or so that you see is actually closer to about 50-60k instead.
Sure, most people watching will be familiar with Krez and Hidden, but Keegan low AR Hidden has been very good recently as well, so I'm not surprised he's taking the Hidden over the hard rock here.
It's going to have to be pretty good for them here. Raikaho on another combo reset. Going to trade with Emrek this time around. 3 full combos, though, for Very Cool. Zudinator finally going to drop one of those FCs and leaves Bubbleman and Fiery standing up against 2 full combos for Bob and a good supporting combo from Krez, again, on that low approach rate hidden.
Ooh, that's going to hurt for Bob. Both big combos gone on the Hiddens. Whoops.
Yeah, that is not what you want to see. You do still have this SS for Suwagi, still holding the full combo, but like you said, Bubbleman and Fiery still holding, and now 2 full combos dropped for Bob. Really not what they wanted to see, as I know. Yes, there's a multiplier on this easy pick, right? You do get more score, but it's not as much as a hidden or hard rock full combo. So you're going to need to see more of these breaks. Fire Rage going to drop one of those combos for Very Cool. Bubbleman now the only combo left standing for Very Cool up against Suwagi.
There's the last one gone for Very Cool. Bubbleman with the break. Emrek the only one left, but momentum is with Bob now.
Well, there goes the momentum. As both Renko and Krez drop the combos right afterwards. No! Keeg now the high combo to match the combo coming out of Emrek, right? You do have a matching combo there at the very least. And Suwagi still on this full combo with easy. Had to cheese a recovery earlier on in the map's on drop a couple of 50s. Just barely hold on to the combo where it mattered. Is it going to be enough, though? I believe this actually is already enough of a score lead for Suwagi to overtake. This 1.6 times multiplier brings it up to around 800k or so at this point, and that is more than enough extra score to bring this home for Bob, and that should be a successful pick. It's only about 140,000 score lead, and yeah, 1.6 multiplier definitely going to be enough with that full combo on easy for Suwagi. 99.5% accuracy to bring it back and give them the extra point that they wanted with that map.
Easy strong. I said this map has a lot of nasty sections on easy, but yeah, Dragbit, he can really make use of the easy when it comes around. That's excellent stuff from him. Keeg as well with a nice recovery, gets 600k with the hidden as well, alongside Bubbleman on the other team. Solid on the hidden there. hanging in there, Dio. Bob fighting back after taking those L's pretty early on. The speed didn't work, but the change in strat seems to be opening stuff up now. The pool is thinning out a bit.
Yeah, well, they're going to be forced into kind of a change of strategy. I mean, there's not too many of these speed maps left. They did pick, of course, that tapping map, and Nomad 2 did end up working out for them. But like you said, these last couple of picks have been very good for Bob. Unfortunately for them, they are still down 2 breakpoints, so they're going to need some breakpoints of their own to make this comeback happen. Maybe we'll see one here on this Nomad 4. It's a tech map mapped by Mazarin. Mazarin tech maps, what? But he actually has some really, really tricky streams in this, some very difficult sliders to aim, and this is a map that is incredibly difficult for this type of pool to be consistent on. Bob won this pick yesterday against Welcome to Trev City. It was very, very close between them, about 1.5 million team score for both teams. And Very Cool didn't play this against Picora Lovers, so you've got kind of a matchup that now, Very Cool picking this and saying, yeah, we see your scores. I think we can do better than you on this sort of map. So picking into a map that they haven't played yet and thinking, yeah, I think we're going to be good on this one, guys. So I'm excited to see what Very Cool is able to put up on it. I mean, we've all seen what White Cat and Emrek can do on some of those, 8-star speed core tech maps that you see that don't even that are too hard for any tournament pool, right? So these are players who are absolutely bonkers on some of these types of maps.
Yeah, I definitely put this down as a good pick for Very Cool going into this, especially with the squad result from Bob. But the individuals could pop off on this sort of thing. Quite a lot of cut streams in this. Quite a few cut streams all the way through. And the ending has some pretty hard bursts as well, alongside all of those usual super high SPs you tend to see in tech maps. Mazarin has been mapping quite a lot of maps like this, but usually a bit more gimmicky than this. But even this has the stamp of Mazarin mapping on it.
This 1/3 section, brutal for a lot of players. Tono Diamond's going to find some misses during the 1/3. Somebody else able to hold Fiery Rage and Emrek with some resets. Keeg and Satono Diamond with some resets. White Cat, Zudinator, Suwagi, and Krez to hold on so far.
Oh, that slider caught a couple people out. I saw that. It's with Bob. Even Slowbit has these little cuts in there. The aim control all over the shop.
The longer we see Krez hold on to this combo, the better it's going to be for Bob. But everybody else finding resets all over the board. Stone Diamond, Suwagi, Fiery, and Zudi all finding those resets. Emrek now finding a drop as well. And this is potentially the break point that Bob needs to start really swinging the momentum back into their favor. Keeg and Krez to both hold on, and zero combo for anybody on Very Cool. Doomsday, they're doing it, man. They're pulling off this comeback for Bob right now. Finally a miss-aim from both of these members, but they got a little bit of score lead to work with. It's White Cat on a little bit of combo for Very Cool to try to take it back here. With any of these extra resets for Bob, they're going to give over a little bit more score. More misses to come through for Krez. Is there enough time? It's going to be barely enough. Is that 600 points? 600 points for Bob at the end of it. That's insane. Oh my, wow. That is just the closest map ever, man. That is that is a ridiculously close scoreline, and all credit to Krez on that map. Nearly 700k, 1,000 combo. Absolutely the carry for Bob on that one.
Dude, Krez is gonna get all the plaudits for that one. That's a really good solo score, but it was so important. Very Cool to a player had the better performance, but apart from Krez just popping off through that spaced stream section at the end. And Keeg comboed a lot of that ending as well, and that was incredibly important. both of those two at that really hard section doing it. Well, they're still very much in this now, even more so. You know, that gap's only 2 points now. Next pick is Bob's pick. Well, they are definitely fighting back here, and pretty consistently so too. Very cool finding a couple issues, you know. I guess they're comfort picks. They're running out a little bit, but I still think they have some good picks on the board for when it comes back around to them. Looking at Hard Rock 1, maybe even DT1. Those are aim maps, but we'll see.
This is a much closer match than we saw in the first 4 picks, and now going into another one of these kind of speedy, streamy picks. It is Kill the Night by Soundholic. The never mind, not saying the difficulty name.
We don't have a certified Aussie here.
We don't have an Aussie on broadcast. We can't say the difficulty name. Sorry, lads. But yeah, no, Kill the Night by Soundholic. This is kind of your trademark sort of like Eurobeat style DT2. A little bit of finger control, a little bit of reading, and a lot of speed requirement baked into this one. 252 BPM on this map as well. Or I'm sorry, 247 BPM on this map as well. So a little bit faster than you might expect for a double time too.
Yeah, definitely a decent amount of raw speed as well as the raw stamina throughout this thing. And some finger control. Lots of doubles and quads and, you know, even note bursts like that. You see those a lot in DT2s now, but this one, it's definitely present. Break out the speed brigade. Adriel Kana, Sawada coming in for very cool. Sawada's had some really good runs on these sorts of maps this game. That was a few maps ago now, though.
A little bit hard to keep track of the combos here at the start. We've got Bowman, Emrek, and Keeg on the full combos, but good recovered combos for Lucrece and Ninarek. Lucrece, by the way, finally joining us. I don't know if we mentioned, but first time we've seen Lucrece in this match. I kind of zoned out for a little bit. Sickness and all, but
I can let you off. You're pulling through it, man. Yeah, Lucrece hasn't been around for a while, so maybe he's just become available. Very useful so far with the combo he has.
Oh no!
Never mind. He was.
It was useful.
Pretty good 400.
Unfortunately, though, Ninner's going to be the only combo left up at this point. Emrek with the full combo for very cool. We do see Sawada with the drop, and if Angel Kana finds a miss as well, this will still be touching distance for Bob. Really preferring a miss from Emrek, though. The accuracy for him is very solid as well, up at 96, 97% on this map. And everything looking similar so far. Angel Kana with the slider break there right after the burst. It's Emrek now, the only combo left really for very cool. And there he goes as well. It's now closing in on the last little bit of the map, though. Is there even touching distance left as we come into the last sliver of map here? You do have big combos on several members for Bob, but I think there's just too much score lead. And it just might not be enough going into the ending here.
Would have been cutting it close anyway, because Sawada holding it true there through the final bit. I think that pretty much banked any comeback potential. Yeah, very cool. I'm going to take that one to match point. It's Emrek again with that near 800k. Nineric, though, with that 800k flat. Again, Nineric really showing up on these speed picks. It is going to go to very cool, though. And they were dipped back into that stamina, back into that speed. But again, it hasn't worked out. Very cool, just have that speed roster to negate it, and they have done really well against Bob.
And this is one of the picks that I was concerned about for Very Cool earlier on, and one of the maps that I thought might have been banned out. If you remember, during that second ban phase, we mentioned Hard Rock 1, Hard Rock 2. This map was so incredibly good for Very Cool yesterday against Picora Lovers. I'm going to pull up the exact scores they had, but I mean, this was just a phenomenal pick for them. 780k for Emrek and 700k flat for White Cat on this map. Just looking incredibly dominant for them, even in spite of a full combo from Gamer228666 on this yesterday for Picora Lovers. They still won this pick by over 400k, and that's with a full combo on the other team. So this was an incredibly dominant map for them, and something that I think they have been saving for this moment where they were up match point with the next pick and able to pick something that they are very, very strong on and just close it out cleanly.
Yeah, I think it's also not going to really play too much into Bob's hands because they haven't been going for these hard rocks at all, really. They really avoid that. This one is more about the raw aim, of course. Hard Rock 1, all about those big old jumps, symmetry jumps, lots of geometric shapes, squares and things. It's a Mordred aim map, so you tend to get a lot of those. But yeah, I don't know, Hard Rock and raw aim just doesn't seem to be something Bob ever dips into if they can help it. Really, really good pick here for Very Cool. Yeah, it's looking like the same lineup for Very Cool that they played last time. All four of them back in.
And a scary roster if you've ever seen one, but we've seen the pop-off potential for these members from Bob as well, and that's what it's going to have to be to keep them alive in this tournament. Reminder for chat, this is for all the marbles. If you win this match, you are top 3 for either of these teams. You get a share of the prize pool, and if you lose, you are out of the tournament in 4th place with no prizes and unfortunately nothing to show for it except the wins that you've accumulated so far, but nothing won from the tournament. So big match for both of these teams, both of them really wanting that spot in the top 3 and that spot in the grand finals weekend, but unfortunately it's not looking quite as good as Bob might have liked it here. Resets for Raikaho Keeg and Suwagi. Satono Diamond, the only one to hold on to the combo through that first Ki time, and quite a few members with combo for Very Cool. Bubbleman, Zudinator, and Emrek all holding those combos. And there goes Satono Diamond as well. So this is not the start that Bob would have wanted on this map. Everybody for Very Cool looking a little bit more comfortable on this map.
I don't know if it was spotting what the scores look like at the break, but it is all with Very Cool now. Next chorus to go. Of course, Kick Sliders do take the FC from Very Cool. Emrek's down, but Zutinate is recovering very nicely. 300k at the halfway point. Not all over yet for Bob, but curtain is slowly closing in this slightly easier bit. Oh, a massive reset as well for Bob, and there's no combo left as Raikoho. But there's 3 significant combos to combat that from Very Cool, if not 4. Make that 3 now. Going with the nice and safe pick on paper, and that's exactly how it's looking here for Very Cool. They just have the mechanics to deal with this raw aim. Well, we're down on combo now, but 500k in advantage. That is signed, sealed, and delivered now. Great fight back though from Bob, but this is going to be the end of the road for them in 4th place. It's looking like. Raikoho going off though for that final chorus, 500 combo. End it on a strong note there. And the upside down treble clef there. Raikoho the only one to combo throughout that very last flourish. But that's going to be it. Good game. Very cool. Taking that win. Stemming that fight back from Bob, who, after dropping those early points, really found their footing and really managed to rattle Very Cool here. You know, rattle the players on their team. Get some really good solo performances. But that is going to be it for Team Bob. They're going out in 4th. You can't knock that. It's what they got in qualifiers, and that's how it's going to turn out in practice. Really good run. Really good run from those guys. But Very Cool. Taking that top 3. They're getting a chunk of that prize pool. And could very well go on further with the lineup they have.
They absolutely can. And yeah, we're actually going to speed run things a little bit here. So commiserations to Bob. Congratulations to Very Cool. And we're going to hop over to a quick interview with this one guy and Fiery Rage, the captain of Very Cool, before we swap over to our winners finals match. So let's get into it a little bit here.
Awesome. Thank you, Dio. And congratulations, Fiery and your team on another good win today. Tell me, a little, just right off the bat, the importance of getting a kind of straightforward win that it felt like you were able to put together in this match today.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't think it was straightforward at all. Bob definitely put up way more of like a fight than I think all of our team was expecting. We definitely underperformed on quite a few maps, Nomad 2 in particular. I think we could have done a lot better on. White Cat just having an unlucky slider break there didn't really help things at all, but they performed out of their minds. Like Keeg with an FC on Nomad 2, Krez 700k on Nomad 4, Suagi with the FC on Easy on Fremont 2. Like, everyone had their individual pop-offs on that team, and it was actually really scary to be on the opposing end of that, because you just didn't know who the hell was going to pop off next.
Right, so then with that in mind, kind of walk me through your team a little bit through that match then, where you got off to this really fast start. You're up 4-0 at the break for the second set of bans, and then it really kind of felt like Bob were able to get their claws into the match a little bit in the second half, in the back half of that match. What was that like for your team kind of start to finish in this match with that little bit of a roller coaster ride that you had through the middle third into the back half?
Kind of ironic coming from me, but I was trying to just get my team together, because I think White Cat was feeling a bit like he was underperforming a bit, so I tried to get him back into the game, and I think that helped a bit. He did really well for pretty much the remainder of the match. Emrek also was starting to feel a bit of a tilt, I think, but I was just there to sort of keep them together, just try and say, you know what, guys, let's just shoot for this. We're not going for FCs here. This is a finals pool. They tend to really want to go for those like standout performances, like those FCs on those maps, and I feel like that would end up destroying their mental in some cases. So I just try to bring them back to earth, be like, hey guys, this is a finals pool. These scores are still fucked up.
Yeah, we talked yesterday a bit about your team having this really good late round scaling with guys like Emrek and Whitecat, Zoodonator, Bowman. Obviously, your whole team is kind of built to scale. So after a match like this, where you started off with these ridiculous performances from these carry players, and then kind of transition into a little more team focused, where you had more all-around scores to kind of close out the match. What's your feeling going into like a grand finals pool after you saw these players really trading out who was going to be carrying?
Well, it depends on the pool, right? Like, it's gonna depend mostly on the pool, I think. It depends, like, if the pool plays to our certain skill sets as players. Like, if we have decent amount of players for each map, then I think grand finals would, on paper, I think, because Emrek and Whitecat, right? Like, they're literally two of the best tournament players right now. But granted, Utami on El Dupa and Malashevsky on Microwave Lobster, so you have that to go against and that to think about, really. But the skill cap, I think, is what's the main focus of the grand finals pool. If that skill cap is present, then I think we'd stand a fairly good chance at least getting top 2.
And, you know, this is, of course, the confirmation of top 3 based on winning this. Just, you know, for you and for your team, kind of how does it feel to come out of this match and know that you're guaranteed worst case top 3? You're getting back up to that podium like last year.
Well, I wasn't playing last year, so...
Oh, true. The team, though.
Yeah, the general team. We'll see how far we can push it. I think it's going to be the goal for our team.
And then
I think we definitely want to get top 1, but I think top 2 is probably a realistic goal for us. I think if we try our best, then top 1 maybe, but I don't want to say anything because I don't want to be cocky, man. Like, the 2 teams that are remaining are very scary. Even Bob was scary today. Like, it was very scary.
Well, scary or not, you escaped the match, you won it, and now we get our winners final coming up, which you will end up facing the loser of this match, Microwave Lobster and El Dupa. What do you think about that matchup that's to come?
Utami versus Malashevsky for 90% of the match. Let's see it.
All right, well, you heard it from the man. Utami versus Malashevsky. That's what he's looking out for in the match to come. You guys are onward into the losers bracket final. Worst case scenario, 3rd place, aiming for higher in that grand finals weekend. But it is a big success to get this far at the very least. So congratulations to you and your team. And we will be seeing you again next week as we head back over to Dio to take us into the next match of the day.
Thank you very much, this one guy, and thank you, Fiery Rage, for the interview. Much appreciated there. We are going to speed run into our next match here as Microwave Lobster versus El Dupa has actually already gotten underway. We are into the first map here. We'll go over the bans afterwards, but we need to make sure that we see this map right here. It is Double Time 3, I believe. This is a first pick already for El Dupa as their first pick. So for this matchup, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Fiery Rage. Thanks for the interview and welcome on again.
Hey, hello guys. I'm ready to commentate this match because I want to see these teams play this pool, and I am scared already.
Yeah,
I'm not going to lie, I'm already scared.
We've got 3 full combos left up. Akalibet and Utami for El Dupa still holding the FCs. Maltese are not too far behind. It's just intercamping, actually, to hold the full combo for Microwave Lobster, which is not the player I was expecting to full combo this map halfway through for this roster. Really would have been looking at Arnold or Bartek or Malashevsky for that. As intercamping, not particularly known as a speed player, certainly competent on it, but to be putting up the top score for this roster is something else. What a score for him, actually. But unfortunately, Maltese are now The only big combo left on the entire board, and going to just extend this score lead a little bit for El Dupu. A very, very scary speed roster for them.
Yeah, and a solid first pick for them as well. Definitely performing up to standard. This map being 8 stars, definitely one of the harder maps in the pool. And you're kind of seeing that right now with just in general the scores that people are saying. But Malteser is just absolutely